The city delayed this $500,000 job for 1 year. Here's what happened. As a landscaper, we don't really have to worry about pulling permits. All we do is flat work. We come in, clean, install concrete, pavers, couple steps, and we leave. But this job was no different until the city decided to swoop in and stick their nose in what we were doing. Now, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I don't really like doing jobs when there's other contractors involved. And as you see right here, we have a pool builder, which he was very cool. And then we have another guy doing this crazy pool house structure to give the place a Las Vegas vibe. Now, for something like this, permits are inevitable. 100% you need them. You're going to have to get inspections on electrical, plumbing, stucco, concrete, rebar, everything. So what we did was allow these guys to come in and install their entire structure where they got their permits started. The pool guy came in, he did his process. And once all the heavy lifting was done by them, the customer called us back and said, "Hey T, tag team, you're it. It's your turn." And I said, "Great, we'd love to come in there." So for our job, like I said before, no permits. All we're doing is artificial turf, pavers, 3 little steps, and just cleaning and grading and all that stuff. Easy. Our part is super simple. Now, as we're installing all the base rock and forming the little steps coming from the house, the inspector decides to roll on in to do a inspection on stucco for the pool house. And sure enough, he comes to my guys and he says, "What are these?" And my guys are like, "These are steps. Do you have a permit for these?" And Jesus said, "No, they're 2 steps." And he's like, "If I come back and I see these steps poured, I'm going to make you rip them all out and I'm going to fine you." And we said, "Why? They're 2 little steps. We're doing the exact same footprint. We're just going to make them out of pavers and concrete." And he was very mean and super serious. And he's like, "If I come back and these are done, you guys are in trouble." So we had a problem. Right away, I told the homeowner, and then I went to the city and I started to file for a permit. First of all, they were not the most pleasant to work with. They were actually very difficult, and it was super annoying. I know this from experience. All the city wants is their permit fees, and we were gladly willing to give it to them, but they are so slow. They're like snails. Every single transaction, they would take 10 days to respond. They had a question, we respond right away. They took 10 days to respond. Literally on the dot, 10 days. It was annoying. They had asked us to do some crazy call outs on the plan, which we did. And on their website, every single time that you submit a request or a revision, they give you an estimated date for completion for the permit. And it was always 2 months out, 2 months out, 2 months out, 2 months out. And I went in person and I asked them, "Guys, why are you making us get a permit for steps? Don't you think it's a little ridiculous?" And they were like, "Wow, this is a little ridiculous. We've never seen this before." And I said, "I know, there's 2 steps. This is not anything massive." And she's like, "Let me get someone else." So another permit officer comes and he's like, "Yeah, you need steps for this. This is entering into the dwelling of the residents." And I was like, "Okay, let's just get this done. How can I pay for this and do it?" "Oh, the person in charge of this is not at the office right now. They're on vacation." I said, "Okay, what can we do? How can we speed this process along?" And she said, "There's nothing you can do. You have to wait for that person to come back," which seemed extremely unreasonable. And the stairs were left just like that, you see, for literally 6 months. Now, me personally, I don't want to take the risk and pour the steps and the permit officer come back and he would say, "What are these steps doing here? I told you not to do this, blah, 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 blah." So I don't want to be held financially responsible for ripping it out because, as you know, to take out concrete after it's poured, it's going to cost several thousands of dollars in labor. So I really wasn't willing to take that hit. And the homeowner didn't want to take that hit either. I don't blame her. It's probably a smart thing to do. Now you're probably sitting there wondering, "T, what could you have done different to avoid this entire fiasco?" Well, to be honest, not much. The only thing I would think we could do different is start the job after the entire inspection process was completed by the pool house people. But the homeowner was super eager to get us in there, which I totally understand. You want your backyard done, especially when you go drop $500,000. You want everything completed so the construction process is finished. But when it comes to the city, my hands are tied. Obviously, I don't want to do something and have to rip it all out. So all I told her we're going to do is finish the pavers, finish the artificial turf, do as much as we can. And if we have to, leave and come back after the entire permit process was completed. And that's exactly what we ended up doing. And it was actually very disappointing and a super pain in the butt because the permit process was delayed until December 2nd of 2023. We started this job in February. And no matter how many times I tried to negotiate with the city, email them back, call them, send them thank you cards, pray about it, nothing. They did not care, and they were not going to approve my 3 little steps. And the whole construction process is actually kind of a pain because the steps always need to be done before the pavers, so the pavers can butt up right against the steps and it'll be a nice clean finish. But obviously we couldn't do anything about that, so we just started to lay as much as we can and in hopes that some miracle would happen and the city would approve us. But they didn't. This is why it's important for you as a business owner and the leader of your company to focus on sales and have enough backlog for your guys not to be worried. Because if something like this happened and this was the only job you had, you'd be caught between a rock and a hard place. And that would be very unfortunate, not only for you, but for your workers. And one thing you have to know about TechnoBlock, if you ever plan on installing these, make sure, especially the ones that are gray nickel, that you put down plastic everywhere because man, oh man, these things stain like crazy. So after the boys are done with this part, I'm going to show you exactly what we ended up doing to get rid of the entire permit process, which was actually kind of a genius move, and the homeowner came up with it. I thought we were going to follow through with the whole process because she really wanted floating steps and she wanted some lights underneath her steps just to make it easier to walk up and down to her house. But after some time, she got really sick and tired of waiting for the city. And I was being really honest with her. I shared with her all the communication, gave her login access to the website. She saw with her own eyes, it said December 2nd. So she came up to me after some time and she said, T, let's scrap these stairs and just lay tile over the existing ones so we can finish this thing, because I cannot look at these damn wooden frames for another day. She had enough. And I was so happy that she made this suggestion. And I said, that's a great idea, because if you're not replacing anything and if you're just doing a cover over the existing steps, that's a no-brainer. You don't need a permit for that. And the city even approved us for doing it that way. Pay attention to the pool. No water to water. This is when we came back about 2 months later and we were able to get everything wrapped up. There is where you see we ripped out the tile on the existing steps and we're just going to cover it with porcelain. Luckily, she had porcelain tile in her garage that was left over from her pool house build, and we just threw it on. This entire area was going to be a super modern LA vibe with artificial turf button up right against the pool. So we did all that, installed all the drainage. Now we're doing the sand, and we installed a turf called Coronado, which was about $5 a square foot to purchase. And a lot of you are shocked at some of the turf prices. I know you can get turf for $1, $2, but this is the best stuff that I've ever laid my hands and eyes on. So we wanted to give her something that was super nice and we didn't cheap out on it. Always deliver a great product to the homeowner, especially when her backyard looks like this. This is insane. Like, this is not a normal backyard. This is literally like a little mini Vegas inside a California town. And we were so fortunate to have such a cool customer. I suggested that we install bigger plants, especially the ones along her backside, so she can have a lot of privacy quickly. Because in the original contract, we had 5-gallon plants installed and they were going to be way too small. She accepted the change order for the bigger plants because, as we know in life, bigger is better. Don't let any girl tell you otherwise. And if you're looking to get bigger and better in business, come join me December 2nd and 3rd in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm hosting an event with Grant Cardone specifically for landscapers where we're going to show you how to increase sales and blow up your business and not only make money, but hire the right people in your company to really have a big explosion. How much do you spend on this whole place?
Probably spent $4.5 million out here. What's that?
Shit.
Yeah. Look, this is why the landscaping business is so good, bro. Yeah. It's a bunch of little tiny players. They don't know how to sell. They don't know how to market. They don't know how to scale. That's why I'm super excited about doing this thing we're doing in December.
And now for the revealed product, brought to you by the master designer himself, Taylor Young. He's the principal designer here at Applewood. He is the bee's knees, hands down, greatest thing that ever happened to Applewood. Now, we're going to walk around and Taylor's going to explain to his whole creation and his whole thought process behind it.
Let's go.
We're very excited. Did you like that pump up?
Yeah, dude.
I should be the announcer for UFC.
I'm the greatest thing that ever happened to Applewood. See these knees? It's the bee's knees. Come along this way. We have some beautiful Teco block para pavers in gray nickel.
Why did you choose a diagonal pattern?
Because it looks better than a straight pattern.
That's true. Now, what is this?
So this thing is the pool house. This is the craziest pool house you've ever seen in your life. Better than your pool house.
To be honest, this is probably more expensive than your actual house where you live at.
This is probably more expensive than your actual house.
Now, I've never really seen a pool with turf combo right up to it. What's the process behind that?
It just looks cool.
It does look cool.
It separates it. The thing is, if you have your pavers running right up to the pool, it looks all right, but I think the turf softens it up a little bit.
And for all of you construction wizards, because I'm the best planner in the world, when the water comes here, there's this whole thing underneath here is all drainage. So water rushes in, it'll fall in, go in here, and gets routed to the front yard. Also, when the kids are swimming and they're splashing, the water goes in here, boom.
And it's fun to walk on.
It is. It drains also.
Barefoot.
Explain to us this whole concept. This is pretty nice.
Nice furniture. I didn't pick this furniture, by the way, but it's very nice. Plant selection's pretty simple. We picked all these Indian laurels for privacy. They'll get a lot taller. The client had plants already, and so we just planted what she had existing.
And these plants right here, if you get them in a smaller size gallon, like a 5-gallon, 5-gallon will be here. 15-gallon is about here. A 24-inch, they're a lot fuller and taller. Mm-hmm. But one of my clients, which was the $500,000 pickleball job right here, he ordered 48-inch boxes all in a straight line. He had instant privacy like that. And they were like 15 feet tall.
Huge.
It was insane.
These will take 3 to 5 years to get to that size.
Yeah.
Probably more.
Probably more, to be honest.
Probably more.
Yeah. In this whole area, we had a lot of problems with the design with the city because they made us do a lot of permits and so we decided to cancel all this, cancel the stairs. The job took a lot longer because of the city, but when we canceled all that, the city can go and themselves.
Look at these tiles right here. I love these tiles. If you look at a close angle, they're like iridescent, so they change in different lighting. Beautiful. And over here, we have a little bit of separation with some different pavers just to break it up a little bit. It's almost like a little pathway to go from A to B, as opposed to just having it all be the same paver.
What kind of material did you choose for this whole place?
This is all Teco block. This is Teco block para in gray nickel, and then this is Westmount in shale gray and onyx all the way through there. And then everything else is porcelain. The step landings, and then the rest of the area around the pool house, that's all porcelain.
And on this side, there is an entire grass area with the pool equipment stuff here. Now, typically, there's going to be a fence here, but I told the homeowner to commission her fence guy because he did a really good job, and then he could build her a fence like this. So she said, okay. Whoa, what a professional. Oh, let's show him a little peek on the inside. Ooh. By the way, for full transparency, I did not build this. It was a builder that did this. He did a fantastic job. This is the whole kitchen. And then on the inside is this, which is awesome. All these doors fold in and out. So this becomes a indoor-outdoor area. You just walk in, walk out, hang out here. It has air conditioner, lights, watch a movie at nighttime.
You could live in here.
This is pretty much a chill zone. And there's even a shower way over there. But most importantly, booze, son. Drop in comments if you think this is a good job, bad job, you hate this job, you love this job, you hate Taylor, you love Taylor, or you hate me, which is probably the case.
Yeah.
See you later.